on how to install and deploy a converter for the Teams project context model framework. And what we have here for now is the converters API, and this is the module that is responsible for managing all the conversion jobs from the framework. So the process that we need to do in order to have an output to convert to ontology later is basically we need to first perform an extraction, and this is the context population GUI. It has its own tutorial on how to install and use. This is the context population GUI, and here is the main interface for performing extractions and conversions. So the process that we have to follow in order to populate the context model with information about the environment that we're trying to capture is we perform an extraction of a certain information that we want to retain from the business, and then when the extraction is over, it might be, for example, Linux hardware components, it might be RPM software in case you have an RPM operating system in your business, and then the resulting extraction will appear here. I will show you in a few minutes when I deploy the converter how this is done. But for now, what you need to retain is that everything from the standpoint of the converters is managed by the converters API. So what you need to do first, and there is also a tutorial teaching you how to do that, is you need to deploy on the Virgo container, you need to deploy the converters API, which here is called the populator. This is the manager of the converters. And once this is deployed and successfully deployed, you'll be able to deploy further converters, and you will be able to use them. As you can see here, this is the Virgo container. You can see all the modules that I have installed, and I'm going to install another one that is not here in order to show you how to do this. And you can also see that in this endpoint, the populator-API-modules, you can see all the converters that are actually installed. Right here we have the Linux hardware converter, but I have actually removed it, so when I refresh it, it's no longer here. And this tutorial, I want it to be as general as possible, but I'm going to use the Linux hardware converter in order to show an example. But what I'm going to do applies to pretty much every converter that we have already developed in the Teams project. So what you need to do is, firstly, you need to have Virgo container running with the converters API running, and you also need to have any dependencies that your converter or extractor need within the Virgo container, either as a bundle, which is here, which is deployed as a bundle, either through a simple library in the repository folder of the Virgo container. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to clone the project from the open source projects website. This is where all the tools, all the tool codes from the Teams project is located, and this is no exception. So as you can see, I'm going to clone the Linux hardware converter. As I said, this is merely an example, and the same applies for any other converter. So you can see the Debian software converter, you can see the Perl modules converter here, and this applies to all of them. So I'm going to clone it in a folder right here. It's going to fetch the project, and what I need to do now is I need to build the project. All projects all tools actually, at least the extraction and conversion tools in Teams project, are built as Maven projects. So that means that all we need to do to build this project is actually call a command from Maven. As you can see, this project right here is structured as with a bundle module and with a CLI module. This does not happen in all projects, but the build command is always the same. So to build this project and to and to get a jar file in order to deploy in the Virgo container, I'm going to run this command. As you can see, the command is Maven package, but the clean keyword makes Maven delete every previous file we might have generated into our output folder. So this is building the project. As you can see, it's building in two different modules, and the two modules that are available are the CLI and the remote module. The CLI module is to be used in the terminal with the command line, and all you need to do basically is to provide JSON output of an extraction, and you can convert it locally, outputting a file or on a screen or something. And the remote version of it is actually the one that's supposed to be deployed on the Virgo container, as you can see here. So it's the remote one that we are gonna deploy here. But for now, we have to wait until it's built. Okay, so now that it is built, you can see that the project remains the same, but I'm going to access the bundle part, and as you can see now, we have a folder called target where our jar file is. So this is the jar file that we're going to deploy in Virgo, and all you need to do is you call the deployer and you choose the file that you just generated. Folder, this is called test. Here I go to target folder and I deploy it. So this is deploying the jar file, and what you need is this message. So we can see that it was deployed successfully as a bundle, and we can now use it. And when you access this endpoint, the one that I showed you a while back ago, you can update, and you can see that now we do have this module up and running, and we can use it. So how this works basically is when you extract a piece of information from the business, the extractor, what it does is it outputs the JSON text with a special header in which it states the format in which it was outputted. And when you develop a converter, as you can see from the tutorial we have, all you need to do for the converter API to recognize this format is to declare that it accepts this format. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to test it, and I'm going to perform an extraction with the Linux hardware extractor. I'm going to perform a local extraction, and this is gonna output all my hardware components. So this is taking a while, but it will return in a moment. So as you can see, this is the output here in the data. This is the output of the extractor, and up here you have a header that states the extractor and the format ID in which this extractor is. So this is what Converters API is going to look for when you order a conversion, and I have developed the converter to accept this format. So only the Linux hardware converter will be called when I call the conversion. So now I pass to the conversion, and I can see I have my extraction job here. All I need to do is I tick this and I click convert. If you can see here, we have also a target Fuseki server text box in which you can input an endpoint to which you can upload the resulting ontology from this job. But I have not selected the upload to Fuseki because I don't need it right now. But I'm gonna click convert, and it's now converting the job. And if it's successful, it will show up the green font, exactly, as you can see here. So now I have successfully converted the job, and I can check out the result here by downloading the ontology. Just to check this. Just to check this. This is the resulting ontology. So as you can see, my converter, what it did was it transformed the JSON output into an ontology that I can now include in a context model. And that's it. Thank you.